first, let's talk about what's going on with the White House and some of the things that happened on the morning shows. There was a narrative.
Right.
They were taking on Fox News. I think it's a smart move.
Well, we'll see what Donnie Deutsch thinks. They wrote up their script. They all went out.
One.
They delivered their script about Fox News. And we're going to be asking Donnie Deutsch, who's, the guy's seen as the foremost
He's
expert.
Mr. Message.
Advertising, marketing.
Among other things.
Message. Seriously. Does it for GM and the top companies in America. And I want to get, Donnie, your opinion of this.
They're not really a news station. If you watch even, it's not just their commentators, but a lot of their news programming. It's really not news. It's pushing a point of view. And the bigger thing is that other news organizations like yours ought not to treat them that way.
It's not a news organization so much as it has a perspective. While it's clear what the White House said and what Anita said, I mean, the concentration of the White House isn't about what Fox is doing.
Okay.
Hey, Donnie Deutsch, when I was running for office in Congress as a challenger, I prayed every day that the person that was 30 points ahead of me in the poll would bring up my name. When I became the incumbent, my challenger could have burned down my house, and I mean it. I would have never mentioned his name.
Marketing 101. I am actually
shocked. Why are they doing this?
I am shocked. Here you have, it's the analogy of, you have Morning Joe, a big serious show, and let's say there was a little public access guy somewhere in Des Moines calling you out, you calling him back. They are elevating Fox. Think about this. It's the President of the United States, the commander of the free world, versus a television network with a couple of million viewers.
Well, let's break it
ratings
down.
bonanza. It's insane. They should just be dismissive and laugh.
Let's break it down. It is Barack Obama against, let's just say it, Glenn Beck. Now, Glenn Beck,
you're putting them in the same sentence. They win. Fox wins with that.
They are putting them in the same sentence.
That's what I'm saying.
Since the White House started attacking Glenn Beck,
numbers through the roof.
His numbers have just... Now, here's another important point, though. His numbers have exploded, but in this cable world that we live in, it is a specialized audience, and it is a smaller, much smaller audience than broadcast. Why is the White House doing this?
It's insane. If right now I've never watched Glenn Beck, and all of a sudden I see Axelrod, I see Rahm talking... What's going? Whether it's entertainment, whether it's news, I don't care. I am curious. They're elevating. It is so fundamentally wrong. I am astounded. These are smart guys.
All right,
obviously.
I want to try and see the other side.
Guys, wrong move. All right,
but Donnie, let me challenge you, because what would be the upside of perhaps doing this? Wouldn't there be? Well, aren't they branding the Republicans as these people who many would consider crazy?
You know what? But they're not. What they're saying, I think a lot of people know already. You know, it's not real news. It's opinionated. So what? I don't think the people go, well, I'm not going to listen to it. And the way we consume media today, we don't remember the next day where we got a piece of information from. So if somebody read your earlier guest, this disgusting thing about comparing, Obama to Hitler, and they don't remember a week later. Will remember that. That sits in their memory. And these are dangerous guys. These are bad guys on the other side. These are dangerous, hate-mongering guys. And the way you do it, Joe, to your point, it's like if ever they're brought up, you go, please, that's a joke. We know that's a joke. Move on. So there's a way of acknowledging it, but doing it in a dismissive, not in a me versus you. You elevate them. It's
what
insane.
They were doing? They were just saying.
Time out.
I thought that's exactly what the White House
wasn't too dismissive. Doth protest
but here's the deal, though. Donnie, what you just said about Fox, that these are dangerous guys.
Some of them, not all of them.
I heard that about certain TV people on the left.
Could be.
Every day. From Republicans, from conservatives. What did the Bush White House do when they were compared to Nazis or fascists? And we heard every day that they hated the Constitution, that they were evil people. The Bush White House did nothing. They were quiet. And guess what? They didn't elevate
Which is the way. Honestly, these guys, and look, they've done a lot of communications things right. I've said some of the other things they're doing wrong is they put Obama out there too much. This is, guys, you are just, it is so fundamentally flawed what they're doing.
See, I think it might be strategically smart.
How? Let's war game this and play this out, how this works for them.
It's just like dubbing Rush Limbaugh the leader of the Republican Party.
But nobody believes that.
You know what? It makes it look like the Republicans are made up of these entertainers.
Actually, you know what?
And
I
who
just figured
stands
it
out? Okay, yeah.
This is what they're doing.
What are they doing?
They attack Rush Limbaugh. They attack Glenn Beck. They attack all of these other people because they know their hardcore base is going to love it. Their hardcore base is going to salivate. And they know they're not going to give them what they want when it comes to policy. They're not going to be able to shut down Gitmo.
Right.
In the way they promised. They're not going to be able to get out of Iraq the way they promised. They're not going to be able to get out of Afghanistan.
Joe, I think you're reading too much into it. I think it's an emotional response.
So what they're doing is they're playing to their hardcore base and say, we can't give them exactly what they want, so we're just going to kick Rush Limbaugh in the face.
Joe, we agree on a lot. I disagree with that. I don't think there's a strategic play there. I think it's they get at the end of the day and they
you think
see the
this
press
is Rahm
clippings.
Gets angry and they strike out?
I think it is guys just, we're not taking this anymore. We're going to fight back. They're human beings. You forget sometimes that these people are human, and you get kicked and you get kicked and you get kicked, and it's hard to have the discipline that you describe in the Bush White House.
But George Bush got kicked around more.
You're right. He did it right.
Than anybody
this is one of the few
else.
things he did right. I agree with you.
The Obama team has been coddled by the media more than anybody else throughout a presidential. Ask Hillary Clinton.
They've gotten a pass for 10 months. I agree with you.
Ask Hillary Clinton.
It's changing.
Ask Bill Clinton.
I agree. Well,
I mean, no, I'm serious.
All right, let me
Bill
try this
Clinton
one more
got
time.
abused compared to Barack
Guys,
Obama.
by the way, I agree. Very few things Bush did. That was the right playbook.
I think that perhaps it might be easier for them and strategically possibly better down the road if the White House takes on these illegitimate Republican props as opposed to someone who has real ideas that can take on the White House policies.
And let's face it, the Obama team with Barack Obama at the lead, they are masters at setting up straw men.
Exactly.
And those Republicans, they don't want to do anything to save the economy. We've got to do something.
Okay, but
so
look at them.
By the way, guys,
look at them.
They're easy. The Republicans have painted themselves in the corner that way, and we all know you need an enemy. The best way to define sometimes your stance is point to the other guys, okay? So that's smart. There's nothing wrong with that. The Republicans have done that for years and years and years. My problem here is you want to pick a candidate and do it, but to go after this news network and all of a sudden elevate the discussion is...
But that candidate might speak back in a smart way.
It does, once again...
This gives them a whole...
I'm going to give the analogy again. We're sitting here, and in Skokie, some guy in his boxer shorts is televising public access and say, Meek is a jerk.
But
be like, you going in the air right now
and
say... No, but I'm talking about the elevation of the President of the United States versus a news... Call them whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it's only a couple million viewers. That's the other thing, guys. There were how many people in this country? 300 some odd million people? They are ratings juggernauts with a couple of million people.
They're obsessing.
So, I mean
O'Reilly
you're talking
has a
about
couple of million. The rest of them
less than that.
don't.